Hey, Sean, my goal for 2021 is to make $3,000 in passive income. Now, there's three little stipulations to this. Number one, passive income to me means I'm not actively trading my time for money. That doesn't mean I'm not doing a lot of work. It just means that work isn't a direct correlation to the amount of money I'll make. And so, for example, in video, if I go shoot for a day and somebody pays me $1,000, that's active revenue. That's me trading time for a known $1,000. What I want to do is create something that while I'm not doing anything, while I'm doing other things, maybe over a longer period of time, it continues to earn revenue passively for me. Number two, I have to enjoy it. One of my main streams is going to be YouTube, hopefully. And there's a way to do YouTube which is much more lucrative than the way that I do it, but it comes at the expense of pigeonholing yourself into a particular niche and trying to make sure that all of your content is coming out at a breakneck pace and you're trying to hit the algorithm. And I don't want to do that to myself. I want this to be something I enjoy. For it to really feel like passive income, I don't want it to feel like a grind. I don't want it to feel like too much work. I sort of want to take my hobbies here and have them generate revenue for me. And third stipulation is that $3,000 is a net gain. So if I'm spending any money to promote these things or spending any money on equipment that I'll need to produce these things, that needs to be made back to hit my $3,000 goal. So if I spend $1,000 on YouTube promotions, I need to make $4,000, so it still nets to $3,000. So my plan for getting here is fourfold. Number one is YouTube, and currently I'm making around $65 a month on YouTube, which is not a lot, but it's not nothing. And over the course of 12 months, there's a chance that could come up hopefully to $100 if I'm doing this regularly, maybe $100 a month. And in that $100 a month over 12 months, that's $1,200, and that's almost halfway already to my goal. So finding a way to continue to make content which is appealing and really sort of the concept of one for you, one for them, I think is going to come into play here, where there's gear videos and stuff that I know will do well and that I will enjoy making. But there's also a bunch of other stuff that I know won't do well, but I don't want to not do it because it wouldn't make me a lot of money or it wouldn't make me as much money necessarily as a different video would. So I'm going to walk both paths on the same channel, knowing it's going to hurt my revenue potentially, but I'm going to enjoy the process a lot more. Number two is going to be a tiny, tiny fraction, but number two is what I'm going to call like podcasting and merch revenue. I've had a store forever and I like putting things out there. And I have my personal podcast, which oftentimes just serves as sort of a rough draft for talking through ideas before they become YouTube videos. But I also have the Hardy & Sons podcast with David, and we do have a few listeners, and I think in the past year we made $15, but we've got a bunch of shirts and stuff available there that we have priced in a way that earns us no profit. But as this progresses, I want to sort of make more things available, maybe work with some designers to make their stuff available, where this merch and podcast advertising revenue can become the tiniest sliver of this. I think if in the whole year I make $100 in this second category, I will consider that a raging success. Number three, and this one has, I think, a lot of potential, but I have no idea what to expect, and I've never really played in this space before, but stock music. I play guitar, I play piano a little bit, I can play saxophone, I can write music, I've done it before, and I've written music for some of my own videos in the past. I've written songs, I wrote the songs that played at my wedding, and being able to put those out, I've read in several places that getting a good album somewhere like on an Artlist or Soundstripe or any of these stock music sites can actually end up getting a good deal of revenue coming in. I think the catch is it only comes in once a year. These subscription-based sites sort of take all the downloads. They say how many of your downloads were, what percentage of the total downloads was that, and then they give you the corresponding amount of money. So putting some stuff out there that can just sort of sit there and maybe earn some revenue, and definitely being something that I would genuinely enjoy, being able to sit down and write music, get back into Logic Pro, get my keyboard out, play guitar. I have a jazz bass now, which I'm really excited to actually record with, and I haven't recorded with that yet. So being able to play a little bit more and make some music that could potentially earn revenue, is number 3. And again, if that makes no money, that's probably what to expect, but there's a chance that it could make a few hundred or a few $1,000s. I don't know what that's going to be. 4th and finally, and maybe the biggest one, is stock footage. I've thought of this, I've been thinking about doing this for years, and when times are slow and I've got a new camera, a new lens, I go out and I shoot stuff, but I never put it anywhere. And I did the Sony Kondo Everywhere thing last fall, and I wish I could remember the guy's name, but there was a stock footage guy who was talking a lot about his experience and how much of his revenue, which is all of it, comes from stock footage and what does well and what doesn't. And he talked about the different sites and how a lot of them aren't great. And like putting your footage up on Video Blocks or Pond5 or these other sites, it can earn money, but not a lot typically, not in any substantial way and not really in a predictable way. But if instead I open my own stock footage store and put footage there that's going to replace some of what I would be hired to do on a regular basis, I think would be a better use of my time and have more earning potential. And so, for example, I get a lot of phone calls to go out and fly my drone to shoot St. Louis staples for someone else's video. There's a TV show, a local production, whatever it is. Somebody needs to have their establishing shot of St. Louis and the Arch or the downtown or Busch Stadium, these different things. So I get my drone, I go out, I shoot it, I give it to them, and I come back. And knowing that this is in demand because I see it and I get paid for it, if instead I can take some time off here during January and February when I don't have any client projects really, and I can go shoot these things, go shoot them, take my time, take a day and just saturate myself with footage of these local landmarks and things, then I can just gather all that footage, put it in a place where when I get that phone call, I can say, hey, how about instead of me coming out and hoping that the weather is good on the day that you're doing production, do you just want this sweet shot of the Arch that I have already? And if I have enough of them where it's not like I'm giving everyone the same shot of the Arch or the same shot of Busch Stadium, but instead I have a whole bunch of options, then I can really maximize my time potential where I can go out once, shoot 15 different shots of the same thing, and then have 15 different products that I can give to people. And then furthermore, to create a pack to say, here's a St. Louis aerial footage pack that has the Arch, Busch Stadium, Union Station, the new Ferris wheel, all these different things that really look like the St. Louis icons, the St. Louis landmarks. And if I can just package them up and say, hey, if you need to make a video about St. Louis and you need some footage and you don't want to hire somebody to go, I've got it all collected for you. Here it is for X amount of dollars. Having that sort of control and knowing that people are searching for different things, the people who are looking for that footage aren't necessarily going to go onto Pond5 or onto Video Blocks, or Soundstripe now has stock footage. They're not going to go to those places because they're not on those places. And so being able to cater to that clientele by creating what I know they want ahead of time and having it on standby so that they can call last minute and I can say, yeah, here's your shot. It was on a gorgeous day. You don't have to worry that this whole week looks like it's going to rain. That's number 4. That's how I'm looking to make money off stock footage, is by building a library of assets that I know people will need, and starting with drone footage, but then adding a bunch of good, with the A7S III, I can now do 4K 10-bit color, good footage in a number of different profiles, and I can go out and I can do time lapses. And I can capture the things that I know people want because they're the same things I get asked to capture when I get hired on for a particular day. So I'm going to gather all these things, make a few different packages. I don't think I'm going to make clips individually available. I think that would be cumbersome to run. And there's going to be a technical hurdle to this one, and I'm going to make a whole video about how I approach this stock footage one because I think it's going to be the biggest potentially. But put my footage on Dropbox, leave it there, and then use Squarespace, which runs my website, to run an actual purchase, run the transaction, and the file that I deliver to them will be a link to the Dropbox. And I get that there's, I guess, security risks there where once the footage is out, somebody can share it with anybody or share the link with anybody. But that could also happen once you download the file anyway. So I'm just going to have to trust people a little bit and make sure that some of that shrink is built into my pricing to make sure that this is a worthwhile and lucrative endeavor for me. So through those 4 channels, my goal is to make $3,000 this year. by spending my time carefully in these first few months and letting that cascade over the year and beyond this year into forever. And hopefully next year I can take that goal and multiply it by some number and continue down this trail where I'm trading my time of doing the things that I enjoy and the hobbies that I enjoy for money. That's the dream, right? So thanks for watching this, because by watching this, you're helping contribute to my YouTube growth and revenue, which means a lot to me and the people that are a part of this journey. It's been fun responding and being in the comments and developing this with you guys over the past couple of years and seeing this take shape. So if you have any thoughts, any ideas, if you've tried any of these things, if there's stuff I'm missing, if I'm an idiot, you're always welcome to say that too. That's all I got. See you later. Bye.